farmer friends. So today I am here to talk about a very important issue that is currently plaguing the areca nut crop, or what is called leaf spot disease, which today is having a very significant impact. So it is causing a lot of stress for all the farmers. So this issue, why this happens, what are the consequences, and what is the solution for it, this is what I have set out to explain to you all today. Now look friends, as of today, the areca nut is a very significant crop for everybody, meaning in most regions it has become a commercial crop. This crop, analyze this, we see that in the Multilingual region, which had the most. So areca nut in the past, so as time went on, it started increasing in the plains as well. It is because it has an excellent price. For that one reason alone, today they are all trying to continue it as a commercial crop. But if we take a look back at the history, specifically what was happening around 40 years ago in the Multilingual region, and see how the areca nut crop used to be, it was extremely healthy. They used to get absolutely amazing yields. But when we ask why things turned out this way, when we examine this more closely and analyze the situation, we find that the organic carbon content within the soil was somewhere in the range of 1%, from about 1 to 2% in the Multilingual region, that is the organic carbon. So this element known as organic carbon is a very important indicator that serves of the soil's overall health. Unfortunately, our farmers do not have that much awareness about this particular aspect. In the soil test report, the amount of organic carbon present, even when it is provided, tend to neglect that information and look at other factors instead, at which nutrients are deficient and by how much. 40 years you have been doing exactly that, supplying them this organic carbon in our farm, year after year, toward decreasing or increasing back in those days when it was around 1 to 2%. And we used to get an excellent areca nut crop. Now what has happened today is that the soil organic is somewhere between less than 0.2 to 0.8. You see, if I have to say it in summary, it is same in any region. If the level of organic carbon in the soil drops to less than 1%, by anywhere from 20 to 30%, nut crop will decrease naturally. This is happening in all regions, not just limited to Malnad. All of you are facing this decline in crop yield. But as a countermeasure, what we are doing is, because the yield is decreasing, we are increasing the use of chemicals even more. But this method, the more chemicals you added, the yield kept decreasing and the organic carbon never increased. This is an extremely important issue to consider. According to your current practice, year after year, if the organic carbon level was increasing, then you could have considered it to be the correct method of farming. But given that it is decreasing,
that cannot be called the right farming practice.
As soon as the organic carbon began to decrease, the chemical balance of the soil also started to change. pH level, as you call it, that also started to change in response. The suitable pH range is from 5.5 to 6.8. Suitable pH for the crop, as scientists have reported. So if it goes lower than that, meaning 5.5, then it is acidic soil. Nevertheless, it has the capacity to tolerate it, and this is according to the report from scientists. So it goes even lower than that, meaning the acidity is lower. That is less than 5.5. That is higher than 7.55. What happens in that soil is basically the biological activity of the soil, what we call biodiversity, and it starts to decrease. That biodiversity will start to decrease. The nutrients become locked. The essential nutrients required for the crop become locked. Nutrients become unavailable to the roots Similarly, the soil also becomes very hard. This is all connected to each other. Issue related to the organic carbon. It begins to cut down one thing after another. So that is exactly what we are facing today. Biodiversity in the soil has decreased and the number of earthworms. We are noticing that it has completely reduced. So the soil has become hard. So comes hard, what happens? Air circulation within the soil stops. Absorbed water stops in the soil, increases significantly while the development of the roots comes to a halt, reduces its ability to take up the nutrients that are needed for the crop. Tree becomes very weak. And when the disease resistance power becomes weak, this one is what they refer to as a fungal disease. It is a disease that originates from fungi. Whether fungi were not present in the atmosphere in the preceding 30 to 40 years, it is actually always present in the environment. It will only attack when a conducive atmosphere for its growth and multiplication comes about. So how did a favorable environment for this come about? Plant. That specific tree was significantly reduced due to all of these various reasons. It lacked the inherent ability to defend itself from pathogens. It began to attract those very pathogens, and so today what we see is that it is practically visible to us, and this is what we call the black spot disease. So we refer to that as a fungal disease. So this is exactly how it has occurred. So for this to actually come about, so continue speaking based on these exact same problems, particularly within the soil. Increase in the nitrogen content and a corresponding decrease in potassium, calcium and magnesium, the leaves of the plant tend to become very soft. When the shoots of that particular tree, those very fronds have become quite soft, there is softness, the problems associated with the disease tend to increase. So all of you are practically witnessing this today. Is that clear? So for that reason, while the soil attracting the disease because of the softness is one aspect, the reason for the disease to spread even more is in places where the soil is hard to properly absorb the water. Starts to increase on the upper surface, and wherever the moisture increases, the pathogens will also increases so much they multiply qualitatively, and the disease just spreading from one place to another like this. And the reason for that is because this soil organic carbon has been reduced. This problem's thing called leaf spot disease is increasing today. So what are you doing for it? You are spraying excessively, that you are trying to do. So without identifying the root cause of the problem, whatever it is that you do, it is simply not possible for you to come out of this. As this problem keeps increasing, the yield reduces day by day, and today we are finding ourselves caught in a very difficult situation. The question on all your minds is there no solution for this at all? The question of what needs to be done for this and what medicine is available for it might be on your mind. Yes, there is indeed a solution. If you ask what the solution is, it is to identify the root cause of the problem and to correct it. That itself is the solution. I have been talking, what is the root problem? It is organic carbon. So if we have to increase this organic carbon, what should be done is another question that comes up. So for that, the scientists from the University of Agricultural Sciences, BC from Mandya, on the dead soil biofertilizer. So in that place, in that test and trial, the report they have given us, in essence, is mainly about the soil. When we look at how the carbon in that soil is increasing, information that it has increased by almost 0.2% in 1 year. So in the soil's pH, which was initially alkaline, has moved towards a neutral state. So in the same way, this when this soil pH changed, the carbon started to increase, became soft. When the soil became soft in that soil, they call it soil biology. The biodiversity of the soil, in that soil biodiversity, there are beneficial bacteria, fungi, and they have identified the number of microorganisms called actinomycetes has increased, and also the number of earthworms has also increased, which they noted in that report. See, when the biodiversity in the soil increased, the soil aeration increased and the soil's ability to absorb water increased. The root development increased. So this biological process is called the food web, the soil food web. Towards the sustainable state, the soil organic carbon automatically increases. This is a matter you must understand. If you do anything else besides this, increasing the soil organic carbon, no matter how many chemicals you pour, it is not possible to reach your goal and to be free from this leaf spot disease. To look at the measures that can help increase this organic carbon. So, and then another thing that is mentioned in this report is about the nutrients. It is about the nutrient availability. After the application of doctor soil, the availability of nutrients has also significantly increased and a very good yield has also been obtained. So today in the arecanut farm, and ahead and make all of these corrections, then in your farm as well. So you can ask about this. So question may arise, has Dr. Soil just arrived now? No, it has been for the last 14 years now, been continuously speaking about the soil, about the organisms in the soil, and about the organic carbon. By continuously speaking about these things and transforming the farms of lakhs of farmers, and today by paving the way for sustainable agriculture, there is one such in this country today, then that is Microbe Agrotech Private Limited. Friends, you should not, if this problem exists in your farm, giving Dr. Soil's biofertilizer, you can immediately start improving soil's physical properties, the soil's biological properties, and also the soil's chemical properties. You can significantly reduce the problems in your farm, possible to get an excellent yield and a very good crop. With that said, I will conclude my speech. Thank you.